stuck in yesterday. The more I tried to push it away, the more it gnawed at me. What it promised, relief, his voice, his presence again, was everything I had been hoping for. So I let go of my reservations and let myself be carried away. It was a biting gray October when I first met Ezra. He was the kind of person you couldn't help but notice, always surrounded by noise, yet never fully part of it. His eyes were warm and held a faint twinkle of mischief that was almost hypnotizing. When we were paired for a project in the only college course we shared, I saw it more clearly. The way he paused before speaking and chose his words carefully, as if weighing them. That stayed with me. The fact that he remembered things I didn't expect him to, like small details I barely remembered saying, made him even more endearing. Once, I mentioned I couldn't stand bitter coffee. The next time we met, he handed me a cup without comment and said, "Here, try this." It was sweeter. I never told him he got it right. When he asked me out for a cheat day meal, half smiling as if the answer was already decided, I said yes right away. We spent hours in a small campus eatery, so deep in conversation that the world around us ceased to matter. It wasn't a sudden, chaotic fall into love, but a quiet accumulation of moments. It was the way he listened, completely still, his focus steady and grounding, making me feel entirely seen. I remember sitting with him in the library late one evening, tracing the faint lines on his knuckles while he mapped out his plans for the future. The steady rhythm of his breathing became a comfort I hadn't known I was missing. When he kissed me for the first time, the world narrowed down to the warmth of his hands and the faint smell of cold autumn air clinging to his jacket. I felt a sudden, electrifying shift in my chest, an undeniable tether snapping into place. We were happy. Even when others disapproved, we didn't care. We were our own quiet sanctuary. Then the world stopped. Ezra's heart, my most precious gift from him, simply stopped one day. Grief wasn't what I expected. It wasn't just sadness. It was a pressure that settled in my chest and refused to move. The world continued around me, but I moved through it like I wasn't part of it anymore. I couldn't accept that he was gone. Desperation pulled me to the cemetery every day. I needed to be near him, even if I couldn't reach him. One afternoon, as I cried near the grave, I felt someone nearby. A man stood a few paces away in a sharp black suit and a vintage hat. He looked out of place, as if he had stepped out of another time entirely. As he approached, the air seemed to narrow. Even the birds nearby quieted. "Do you need anything, dear?" he asked. His voice was calm. "No," I said as I wiped my tears. "Thank you for asking, though." He studied me. "You're visiting someone," he said. "Someone you're not ready to let go of yet, huh?" "Yes," I said softly. "I know that feeling," he said. "It makes everything unbearable, doesn't it?" I gave a small nod, hoping he would leave. "I can help with that," he added. I didn't respond. "Take my card," he said. I'd rather not, I answered, already gathering my things. I'll be here if you change your mind, he said as I left. That night, I couldn't sleep. My thoughts kept circling back to that odd man, to what he said, to what he might have meant. A sharp sound suddenly pulled me from bed. My purse had fallen onto the floor, its contents scattered. I froze when I saw the locket. Something I had searched for days earlier, now laid among the mess. I picked it up. It was warm. I held it for a long moment before placing it against my chest. The next day, I went back to the cemetery, but the man wasn't there. I returned again and again. Each time I stayed longer, watching faces pass, searching. Eventually, he appeared, emerging from the fog like he had always been there. I was wondering when you'd be ready, he said. I want your help, I told him. Of course, he said, his grin more menacing than comforting. What can I do for you? I didn't respond immediately. He had offered his help, but I wasn't sure I could say what I actually wanted. You want him back, don't you? He said softly. The words felt too direct in the open air. My voice betrayed me, and I couldn't finish my sentence. Say it. His tone sounded like encouragement, but it landed like an order. I want Ezra back. That can be done, he said. But you do understand there's a price for everything, right? The question settled heavier than expected. It wasn't the idea of paying that unsettled me. It was the way he said it. You know, I said quickly. Perhaps I made a mistake. But before I could finish, he interrupted me. Why are you so quick to give up on your wish? He said. Is what you want not worth the trouble? It's just that, I said, my voice shaking. I have nothing worthwhile to give. I have nothing. Something in his expression shifted. Nothing, he repeated. That will do. He handed me a card. Call, he said. But, I tried to clarify. If I was giving nothing in return, did that mean I was getting help for free? It's settled, he said, his piercing blue eyes fixed on me. Nothing is what I'll take. As soon as I got to my apartment, I called the number. A woman answered immediately, her voice low and raspy. I'm calling because... I know, she said. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Write this down. Later, when I tried to find directions for the address, I couldn't get any. The address did not exist. I called back to verify it. This number is not in service, is what I heard. My heart sank. I tried again. Same result. But when I checked the address again moments later, suddenly it was there. Clear, exact directions. I went the next evening. The road narrowed as I drove, trees pressing too close together. The house appeared beyond them, tilted slightly, as if it had settled wrong into the ground. An older woman waited on the porch, Did you have trouble getting here? She asked. Not really, I answered. They don't make it easy, she said. I didn't ask what she meant. Inside, she guided me to a dining table and offered tea. I'm fine, I said. She still placed a cup in front of me, set one for herself, and sat across from me at the table. So, she said, warming her hands around the cup in front of her, you want your boyfriend back? Yes, I responded. The word felt heavier, spoken aloud. For a moment, I wasn't sure I had fully meant it. A knot formed in my stomach. You know, I said slowly, this doesn't make sense. No one can defeat death. She smiled faintly. My dear, she said, there are things still waiting to be discovered. Have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain, even after you tried? I didn't answer immediately, but I knew what she meant. She continued, instances when you wondered if there was more to this reality. Yes, I answered. Then you already understand more than you think. She studied me for a moment, then glanced at my untouched tea. Are you going to drink it? She asked. It's chamomile, good for the nerves. After a moment, I drank it. It was warm, slightly sweet, stronger than I expected. Before I realized it, I had finished it. Bringing the dead back, she said, is something most people reject. But there are ways. The tension I had carried in with me dulled slightly. I just don't know what else to do, I said. Since he died, I haven't been able to find any peace. Her expression sharpened briefly, assessing, before softening again. I know, she said. I can see that. I watched her more closely now. The stillness in her face reminded me of the man from the cemetery. You don't need to pay, she said. I can. No, she cut in gently. You already said it. You have nothing. She stood and retrieved a sheet of paper from a cabinet. Your nothingness will do. She placed the paper in front of me. I looked down. Written in some sort of calligraphy were the words, I give you my nothingness in exchange for his presence. Nothingness. It was almost laughable. Still, I didn't move. Whose presence? I asked. Your boyfriend's. But this isn't how. Her chair scraped back, the sound sharp in the silence. I will not tolerate your insolence, she said flatly. If you don't trust me, leave. The stillness of the house pressed in. A strange compulsion settled over me. My hand felt distant as it reached for the paper. There was no rationalizing the deal anymore, only the pull toward seeing him again. I'm sorry, I said quickly. I'll sign it. She offered a small silver needle. I pricked my finger and signed my name. She took the paper immediately. It's done, she said. So, what now? I asked. How do I see him? She smiled. He will come to you in your dreams. In dreams? Yes. Her expression cooled. Our business here is done. Before I could protest, I was already standing at the door. I hadn't moved consciously. The drive home blurred. I don't remember much of it. Only a growing pressure in my chest and the need to sleep as soon as I arrived. I went to bed and collapsed. That night, I dreamed of him. Ezra stood in a field beneath the moonlight, smiling, calling me forward. I ran toward him, but the distance never closed. No matter how fast I moved, he remained just out of reach. When I woke, my face was wet with tears, but the weight in my chest had changed. It was lighter. The next night, I went to the park where we used to sit. He was there. Ezra, I whispered. He turned toward me. He looked the same. Almost. What have you done? He asked quietly. I brought you back, I said. Something in his expression shifted, subtle, heavy with sadness. You shouldn't have. I stepped closer. When I touched him, he felt real enough. That was all I needed. Can you stay? I asked. No. Why not? He hesitated. You can come back, he said instead. Whenever you want, but only here. I didn't question it. I returned the next night, and the next. Each time, he felt slightly less solid, harder to hold on to, like something fading at the edges. I ignored it. One night, after returning home, I noticed the cold. The thermostat said otherwise. It was unsettling, but I didn't pay attention. Then I saw her. She stood in my bedroom trembling, her face pale and gaunt. Help me, she said.